welcome back
Hello.
to Talking Shit with a Yank and a Brit. How's everyone doing?
Well, I'm
I
good.
mean,
How about you?
yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I think we have some listeners because we got our first episode published.
Oh, yeah, we did. Ooh.
I'm Kate, by the way. I'm the Yank of this duo.
And I am Gemma, the Brit of the duo.
Hello. But back to our publication of our first episode. That is an exciting milestone we reached. And thank you to all of our 10 friends and family who've listened, reviewed, shared. How many downloads did you say we had at last glance, Gemma?
I believe it was like 68. So pretty good. That's nearly
Thanks.
100, which is nearly
Thanks.
1,000.
Thanks, Mom, for downloading on every device you own. No, seriously, though. It was a little nerve-wracking for me once it was published because I immediately thought, oh, no, it's out there. But we got some good feedback from people, didn't we?
Yeah, it's been really nice, actually. Obviously worried about what we talked about because I couldn't remember. But yeah, feedback has been good. So we're going to continue talking shit until we run out of things
We
to
die.
talk about. Until we die.
I think that some comments that I can share. Everyone that I know thinks you're really funny, Gemma, and the feedback I got is 2 people said my voice sounds sultry. So thank you very much for that.
Oh well, we'll call you Sultry Kate from now on then.
I think it's important to note that I'm not funny, I guess, and I think I'm fucking hilarious. So,
I think you're fucking hilarious too. So,
thank you.
there's my feedback. All right.
Well,
So,
this is
what
the
you been up
third
to?
episode. Oh, well, I was just going to say this is our third episode, and since we've started doing this, I haven't been up to a great deal. Let's see. I showered, and
Good.
I, solved world hunger,
Oh wow.
and I organized my closet. How about you?
Awesome. Well, spring cleaning.
Yeah, doesn't feel like it, but yeah, I guess.
What have I been doing? I mean, the usual work. I went to a gig on Monday, actually. That was really good. It's the first gig I've been to in ages.
One where you weren't performing?
No, just went up to London and watched a wonderful artist called FKJ.
Oh.
It's one of my favourites, and it was fucking awesome.
I'm not familiar with that artist. Is it someone worth listening to?
Yes, I would highly recommend. He's like a multi-talented, multi-instrumenty, if that's a term.
You're the music person.
I know. So he plays loads of different instruments and like builds the songs, loops it up and builds the songs. And it was amazing. So check him out. It's really good.
Well, there you have it, folks. Recommendation from Gemma, FJK. Do it. Maybe we'll have him on one day.
Maybe. I mean, we're getting that big, so...
I'm ready to quit my job, so...
Same. When's that happening?
Our listeners range from Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out to Cassie Levi and Rocco Raccoon. And some DC folks. Hi, Jen and Izzy and Hanan. And my friends Allison and Ryan, who are in Texas and currently Cincinnati. How about you?
I mean, most people that listened in my group were in England, which is a lot smaller, mainly located in the southeast of England, really. However, we did have one listener all the way down under in Australia. So shout out to Claire. I think we're going to get you on as a little guest one day. And I'd like you to give me some feedback on my Australian accent. Okay?
Ooh, me too. Look what I found. That's all I can do.
And that is an impression of Claire's daughter, who Kate has never met, finding a spider in, not just any spider, actually, a black widow spider in the back garden when I was visiting her many years ago. It's sort of an inside joke now. So I don't even know Claire knows about that. So there you
Oops.
go.
She's fine.
Look
Daughter's
what I
fine.
found. Yeah, she's fine. She didn't die. Spider didn't bite her. But yeah, other than that, not really been up to much. Obviously, we published the podcast, which was really exciting.
Bravo to you for doing all of the work on that.
Well, thanks very much. I'm just, multi-talented in everything I do. So
Really, really a master of all trades.
Google's really helpful. And YouTube.
Well, here we are on a kind of a sunny, kind of warm day in Minnesota.
Ooh, that's exciting for you. It's been raining all day here.
What?
I know.
Since when?
Can you believe it? I think it's been raining for about 3 months, actually.
Ew. How do you keep your hair so nice?
I just don't go outside.
Fair. Me neither.
Stay indoors at all costs.
Interesting you mentioned that. I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that later today.
Yeah. Indeed we are. So I thought I'd kick things off today. Kathy.
Yeah.
Kate.
Oh, God, no.
I think Kathy's your favourite, isn't it?
Oh.
No? Okay, we'll stick with Kate.
It wouldn't be that bad if the intention behind it or the meaning behind it wasn't so disgusting. Because if I recall, Spaffy Kathy is how it started.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Alex Stone.
Spaffy Caffy.
Could you explain for the listening audience at home what that means?
I don't know what that means.
I think it has something to do with ejaculation.
Yeah, my immediate thought was spunk, to be honest.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just that you're a really spunky character.
Okay, we'll go with that. But
Yeah.
Kathy is not a name I go by generally. No offense to all the Kathys of the world, but I prefer Kate.
Okay, sorry, Kathy.
I'll accept a Catherine.
Okay.
But I allow some of my favorite people to refer to me as Kathy.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a cough.
You okay, baby?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just had COVID the other week, and it's hanging on from that. So.
Story of our lives these days, huh?
It was horrible, to be honest. Got it real bad.
This wasn't your first time, was it?
Flu. No, second time.
Mm.
God, it's just like really fucking knocks you out. I mean, obviously it's different for everyone. But yeah, it really knocked me on my ass. And just like weird things, like your eyeballs hurt. Like, what the fuck? Like, why do my eyeballs hurt?
Fuck COVID, man.
Fuck COVID! I'm sick of you!
Well, I'm glad you're on the mend, but I am sorry that there's still some lingering effects.
Yeah, it'll go eventually.
You can still sing, right?
Well, I couldn't actually for like a couple of weeks. Just had nothing in me, but it's kind of come back a little bit this week. Thank God. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? It's fine.
Do you have any gigs coming up?
Not in the immediate future, no. We've got a few booked for like May. And a potential festival, actually, on one of the Channel Islands.
I want to come.
Yeah, come.
Okay. I'll be there
Come to
tomorrow.
Sark. Awesome. Okay, so I thought I'd kick things off with we talked a bit about dating on our last episode. And it made me think of when I started delving into online dating. I was coming across loads of terms and acronyms that I had no idea what they meant. And as you've been married for approximately 35 years now, I thought it would be funny to see if you know what these terms mean.
I've been married since before dating.
Since before dating started.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is going to be fun because I'm not going to know anything.
Okay, so I think we spoke about one offline, which was ONS.
I had no clue.
I had no clue. Saw it on someone's profile. This is the problem: is I look at people's profiles and I have to Google shit because I don't know what anything means. And ONS apparently means one night stand. So
okay,
that
simple.
was new to me.
Yep, new to me too, but simple. So, I mean, if we're going to just be doing acronyms, I think I could probably roll with that. But I get the feeling that it's not going to be quite that simple, is it?
No, it's never that simple. So I'll do a few acronyms first. See if you know what these mean. So there's DTF.
Okay, I do know that one. Down to fuck.
Oh yeah, boy.
Whoop whoop. What do I get?
You get a gold star for that one.
Yes, I love gold stars.
MBA, which is Mother Bravo Alpha.
Masters in Business Administration. They're bragging about their degrees.
Yeah, that's what that one means. No, that's married but available.
Oh, okay. Okay, so basically signaling that they are married, but whether this is true or not, have an agreement with their spouse that they can like step out.
Yeah, or are just looking to cheat, I guess.
That was going to be my question: is if you saw that, would you be like, no, there isn't some sort of open agreement here between the two of you, is there?
No, I mean, I have come across profiles where they're quite honest about being in an open relationship.
Okay.
Or looking, for a throuple or...
Okay, this might be too personal. Is that something that you would consider? I'm just curious.
No.
Fair enough.
Nothing against it. I just think I'm too jealous of a person to do that. Which I guess is one of my flaws, maybe. I don't know. I just don't think I could share someone like that. But you never know. Maybe I could fall in love with two people who are in a relationship. I don't know. It's not something I've ever done.
I think it's good that you have some insight into, being kind of having some jealousy in that regard, which makes it really a strength, I think. You know yourself.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm really good at validating. Oh, you murdered someone? They probably had it coming.
They had it coming.
Ooh, a little glimpse into Gemma's singing there for everyone. Plus, I love Chicago.
So good. I saw it actually for the first time. A couple of years
How was
ago.
it?
I've seen the film loads, but I'd never seen the show.
Me too.
It's
Me
really
too.
good.
In fact, pivot real quick. Did you guys have AOL Instant Messenger when you were younger? Okay, so this is a familiar thing for you. I saw that movie so many times in the theater that I made like my AIM screen name on everybody's lips, which, because Roxy has that song. The
Yeah.
name on everybody's lips is gonna be Roxy. But as you can probably venture to guess, no one actually perceived or interpreted my screen name that way.
No, to be fair, I mean, I know that film really well, but if I saw that, I'd be like, "Oh, all right, Kate. Fucking hell."
I was in
Someone's been hoeing about.
I was in like junior high or high school. I was really young. Come on.
Oh, it's even worse.
I know it is. But I don't know. You're dumb when you're young, right?
Yeah, true. Okay. How about NSA?
Okay. Not standard apples.
No.
I don't
That
know.
one is no strings attached.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. I knew that. Of course.
Of course you
But
know
what does
that.
that mean to you if you see that? Like, it's just going to be casual, no expectations?
Yeah, I guess so. They just want to hook up. Right?
Okay. Fair enough.
But you don't see that one that often anymore because you can literally put on your they have like, I don't know, basic info. You can put whether you're up for something casual, something serious, blah 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 blah.
Does it filter people to like show you similar matches who also will like put that, or
You can if you pay for like the premium dating
who
app.
pays for premium?
Who does that? Okay, so obviously we spoke about ghosting. We all know what ghosting is.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever heard of breadcrumbing?
My immediate thought is the story of Hansel and Gretel leaving breadcrumbs to like get back to where they came from. So like kind of linking that to the dating world might like keeping like something alive, I guess, just so like just in case you want to come back to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. It's just
Like
like a
keeping someone on the hook.
non-committal, like, yeah, they're not really interested, but they're just going to keep sending you the odd message just to, try and keep your interest, or I guess for a bit of validation.
Oh, that's kind of manipulative.
Yeah. I've had that, but I didn't know what it was at the time.
You didn't think that you didn't know what breadcrumbing was, or you just didn't quite understand that that's what they were doing?
Both, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read about it on the Reddit dating sites and was like, oh, that makes sense.
Block.
Block. Thank you. Bye.
Boy. Well, I feel like we're doing the world a favor by talking about this so people know. People should know about this.
Yeah, we're educating people on what goes on in this terrible, terrible online dating world. Yeah, it's like a public service.
Okay, so breadcrumbing kind of related to ghosting, but just like still kind of there, like the ghost that comes
just
back
sort
and
of,
haunts you. But
yeah, exactly. And that's kind of related to orbiting as well, which is essentially where like a person will ghost you, but then continue to like stalk your social media. Which again is like can be quite difficult to deal with, because you're like, they ghosted me, but they're still looking at my Insta stories. Like, are they interested? What's going on here? And
okay, I was just gonna ask if like some of the dating apps that you're on, do they tell you who's checking out your profile? But you said I get Insta because you can see who views your stuff, and obviously you have friends and if they like your posts. But on the apps, can you tell if someone's still kind of like checking you out?
no,
Okay.
no, you can't see it. But it'd
So
be like,
this is
yeah,
when
if
it's kind
you've,
of bridged into your social media, the person you added them or something like that. Got
yeah,
it.
what often happens is you'll be talking on the apps and then you might exchange numbers and chat off the apps. And then once you've exchanged numbers, obviously Insta will like connect their
Oh,
profile.
yes. Okay. It'll say you might know this person or something like that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, that's interesting. Never heard of that one. Cushioning.
This sounds like a sex thing.
So this is when you meet someone you really like, but they're already in a relationship. The way they flirt with you via text makes it seem like they're interested, but they make no indication that they're planning on leaving their current partner. This is cushioning, aka the act of keeping the seat warm in case they want to use it somewhere down the line.
Okay, so that's basically just a new way of saying mixed messaging.
Yeah,
Sort of.
essentially.
I like it. Short and sweet. Still sounds like a sex thing, though.
Yeah. Much like cottaging.
Ooh, is
It's
that the
not like
next one, or are you?
cottaging.
Okay.
No, do you know what cottaging is?
No. I'm married for 35 years.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the definition up. Okay, so it's the action of engaging in homosexual acts in a public toilet.
Oh. Okay. Just homosexual, huh? That seems oddly specific.
Yeah.
Why not just any sexual act?
No, apparently you need to be homosexual for that.
Okay. It's not quite linking for me, but that's okay. I'm old. Basically the boomer of millennial.
Well, I mean, don't blame me. It's Urban Dictionary.
You created this. I know you did.
I was the creator of cottaging. No, I wasn't. Okay. Oh, the slow fade. This is a common one.
Is it like the opposite of breadcrumbing?
Yeah, it's essentially like a slow ghost.
Okay.
So
yeah, I think that's maybe
communication
what I
just
meant.
starts to like slowly drop. And they just fade into the background.
Okay.
Situationships. This was a new one.
Well, I feel like I've heard this term. It's almost like the throwback of when Facebook let you put "it's complicated" up, I feel like, but I might be wrong, so tell me.
So it's essentially the space between a committed relationship and something more than a friendship.
So there's a
So it's
situation.
yeah, so it's like I don't know really how to explain it. It's just basically you're pretty much in a relationship, but like potentially one person doesn't actually want to commit. So they have the benefit of the relationship, but they're like, don't want to make it official.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds complicated.
It does sound complicated, yeah. But yeah, apparently it happens a lot.
Have you had a situationship?
No. Don't think I have. No.
I feel like I probably have, but it was far too long ago for us to come up with such a clever term.
Yeah.
Because again, married for 35 years. I know there's like, I feel, what have I heard recently? I hear cuffing season a lot, which I kind of know what that means. And I think the thing that I always wonder is why did we need to come up with terms for these things? And then of course it's just like that's just kind of human nature and language, right?
Yeah. And who is successful at doing that? Like, it's hard enough finding a relationship in this crazy online dating world, but like, how do people manage? Like, I'm just gonna find a relationship for the winter months. Like, God.
Well, it makes you wonder if because we developed this kind of term for it that became pretty regularly used, that people became more open to the idea. It almost gave people like permission to do so.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
know,
so.
but it's a good question.
Yeah, apparently there's the opposite of cuffing as well. What's it called?
Uncuffing.
It's like for the summer.
um,
Oystering.
Sunscreening.
That's what it's called. Oystering.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Oh no.
That sounds
No,
like a
no,
sex
no.
thing.
It does, doesn't it? Oh no, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm completely wrong. Oystering is a term that encourages people to celebrate their freedom and embrace being single post breakup.
Oh, I've tried that a few times and was never successful.
Hey, I did that for 5 years.
Every time I was like, I'm just going to be single for once. Oh, will you be my boyfriend?
Oh, will you be my boyfriend?
Please, sir, be my boyfriend.
That's all you need to do, folks. This
Yep,
is coming
that's
from a
it.
married woman. So
Hot dating tips. God. Well, those are good. I feel like I'm curious to kind of have an ongoing conversation about this because we know there's going to be more that come up. It's always new stuff, and it's always you youths are so smart with your new terms.
with
I'm
your
just so
new
proud of you.
fangled terms. Well done, guys. But for us oldies,
Hello,
it's
youths.
bloody confusing. All right? Can't just speak in plain English.
Well, but here's the thing: once us olds start using it, that's when the youths are like, "Oh God, now we got to come up with something else."
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they opened up Facebook to everybody. I was like, "Oh, my grandma's on here now.
Yeah, I don't want
Guess
to
I
be on
better go
here.
somewhere else."
What makes me feel really old is like, I don't know what it's like in America at the moment, but our like 90s fashion is back, like with a vengeance, and like the worst of it as well. To
Mm-hmm.
be fair, I'm liking the flares. I dig the flares. I'm fed up of skinny jeans.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But yeah, I went shopping the other week and was like, it was like being transported back to my youth. I was like, what's happened? It was
I
really
mean, for
weird.
me, it's the same, and it kind of started when we were over there for the weddings last summer, and I
Mm.
was in, I want to say it was like H&M, and it was mesh and crop tops, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, where I didn't wear this when I was like young enough to wear these things,
That's it.
and where am I? Do I have to like go to Grandma's R Us now to shop? Where am I supposed to shop? I don't
Oh
know.
God, we're so old.
Yeah,
Oh.
so that's true here. It's a lot of. I agree with the flares, kind of the wide leg trousers. I'm into them, and I have been wearing them for a while. But I just I haven't bought clothes that's outside of like leggings and sweatshirts for a while,
Yeah.
and that's because I don't go to work in an office anymore.
Ah. And is that since the pandemic, or have you always done that?
So, it's largely been because of the pandemic, but before the pandemic, there was an opportunity with my work to have a flexible work environment, is what it's called.
Hmm.
And, depending on what you had going on for the day, you could choose to work at home or somewhere not the office. And I was someone who opted to be at the office every day because, I don't know, I suck, I guess. But as soon as the pandemic hit and we went virtual, like exclusively, I still got up and got dressed and put on work clothes, pretty like kind of my normal routine, just because I was like, this isn't going to last forever and I
Mm.
need to have a little structure. Um, And 3 years later, almost kind of to the day, been remote. So I gave up. Finally wore me down. I gave up.
Now you work in your dressing gown.
I mean, if I have kind of like I'll try to explain this in a way that makes sense. If I have a service like a mediation with clients and attorneys, or if I, something that seems a little more formal, I will try to, not wear what I'm wearing right now, for example.
Mm.
Um, but even then, it's like I'll just put on a shirt that doesn't look like it's too dirty or like workout gear. And if I am writing all day or don't have any meetings, or if I'm just meeting with a parent for kind of an interview for an evaluation, I go way casual, and no one's complained so far. But it's kind of like I am sitting in my house and I try to make my little office space look kind of, nice and clean and stuff. But it's just like, come
Yeah.
on, let's not have too high expectations here. And I'm
Mm.
not going to lie, like, it's been rough. I don't love it. I would like to do a little bit more in person stuff. I would like to see my colleagues a little bit more.
Hmm.
But I think that I'm kind of in the minority as far as that. I think majority of my colleagues really do enjoy working from home. And I understand some of them, their commutes are annoying and they have kids. So
Yeah.
I get it. But it's just like there have been times when I don't think I've left my house for days because I know you probably think I have a roaring social life, Gemma. I don't.
Well, you don't. What?
So it's not unusual for me to like go 4 or 5 days where I haven't been in a car or, left my yard.
Mm. And do you have the opportunity to go back to the office if you want?
So that's a complicated question that is still not quite clear to myself or my colleagues.
Oh, really?
The authorities the powers that be sort of kind of shut down our space. We are still allowed to go there, but I don't really ever have a need, unless I
Mm.
have to testify in court. Then obviously I would be going to the courthouse and
Yeah.
in person and stuff, but that's not often. So, and there's like satellite offices we could go to, but again, it's like why am I doing this? I'm just trying to get out of the house then, and then I would maybe try to coordinate with a colleague to meet them. I don't know, but it just
Mm.
the opportunity's there, but it's kind of like just seems kind of like a waste of effort.
Yeah, fair. I mean, my work were like as soon as the restrictions were taken away, they were very much like everyone needs to be back at the office immediately. But they have now just introduced a hybrid working scheme for office workers. Um, but a lot of people were already contracted to work from home. Like for me, example, I've always worked from home since I started this job. So the pandemic, to be honest, didn't feel any different to me really.
Except for
Apart from
like
the
your social
fact
life,
that,
maybe.
yeah, apart from social life, um, and going to the shops was a bit weirder because we all had to wear masks and stay away from everyone.
Yeah, that risk
Um,
of death.
yeah, that little cheeky little risk of death that they had going around. Um, and we could only go out for a walk once a day. But I did that anyway because I've got a dog. So didn't make any difference. I just ate a lot more
Was that
takeaways.
monitored at all? Like, oh, I saw you twice today. Ah.
I think it was somewhere. I think certain counties were more strict than others. Um, but I don't know, to be honest. I think that few people got in trouble for driving, down to the coast or really far away from where they lived. But it's difficult to enforce that kind of rule, really, isn't it?
hmm Not
I
unless you guys
mean,
had like people posted outside everyone's doors.
exactly, and like barriers set up at the edge of
hmm
each town, and that would have been a bit fucking ridiculous.
Well,
Um,
and obviously we talked kind of over that time frame, and I remember you and keep talking about like things that were happening there. But then also seeing like on the news, there was, I can't quite remember what it was, but it was just like the British people refuse to not go to the pub. I won't give up my pub.
I will not do it. I'm going for a pint. Yeah, I think people took the first lockdown quite seriously. And then the second lockdown, a load of shit had come out about certain politicians breaking the rules. Obviously, I don't know if you've heard, but we've got, I think it's, what's it called? Partygate? Where basically it's now transpired that Boris and all his little Tory minions were having parties on a Friday night when everyone was in lockdown and people weren't allowed to go and see their dying relatives. So
I had heard about that and was not surprised because we had some similar things here. But
yeah, there's been like a big
just like, oh
inquest
yeah,
into it.
the rules don't apply to us.
Yeah, we're the ones that set the rules. But oh yeah, and then another politician are at the time. Oh God, I'm really hungover, so my brain's not working. But he is the what was he? Let me Google it quickly. He was the health secretary, Matt Hancock.
Oh, the health secretary.
So he was the guy that set the rules for lockdown and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, made us all impose these restrictions. And he was caught copping off with his secretary. And it was leaked. And at that time, you weren't allowed to see people or touch people that weren't inside your bubble. So the guy that was making the rules was having an affair. So at that point, everyone was like, fuck off. I'm going to the pub.
Okay, so you kind of said it, but copping off.
Oh,
So
okay,
they were cushioning, cottaging,
They
whatever, oystering.
they were engaged in a passionate snog, and he touched her bum in the video as well.
Oh, I do feel like I heard about that. Oh
Yeah,
boy. I think that would be like the equivalent of our Dr. Fauci, who was like the CDC kind of guy
yeah, I remember
who was
seeing a lot
talking
about him.
about like, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of simplifying his role, but that would have been like him being like, "Yep, we need to distance and stay home and wear masks," and then basically throwing a giant frat boy kegger at his house and no
Yeah,
one's wearing masks and everyone's making out.
exactly.
Which if you Google Dr. Fauci, that would be quite a
Hilarious.
visualization.
Oh, he looked like a lovely, sweet man.
Yeah, like your grandpa. And it's like, Grandpa, why are you doing this?
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, so the pandemic really has changed things for me. And I'd be lying if I said if tomorrow the order was everyone go back to the office and work Monday through Friday at the office, it wouldn't be like a difficult adjustment for me. But I do think that like for my work in particular, while it can be done virtually, something about staring at a screen for several hours and like talking to people about kind of serious things, it's just there's like this exhaustion to it that
Yeah.
isn't quite as intense if it were in person. Plus, I feel like I miss things, when I evaluate people in some of their disputes with their
Yeah, it
co-parent.
must be.
I do
You
feel
can't
like
read body
there's something
language or
lost.
pick up on cues as well.
Hmm. Yep. And
Mm.
I miss seeing my colleagues. I miss walking down the hall and just saying, "Oh man, I have this case that's kind of like I'm struggling with. Can I
Mm.
pick your brain for a second?" And it's different than having to like look and see who's green or red or yellow and who might be available to chat with. And
Yeah.
so I miss that. Well, and what about you?
Well, it didn't affect me. I like working from home. I love it. Every now and then I have to go up to one of our offices, which is fine. It's nice to see people, nice to have the social interaction. But by the end of the day, I'm ready to come back to my home
Mm,
office.
hmm
But it definitely affected like the teams that I manage. A lot of them were office-based, and their attitude to working seemed to really change. Like, we'd have some people that all of a sudden were then really kicking up a fuss about their commute and, being really difficult in the working environment. And it was sort of like, well, you are contracted to work from the office. That's what you were hired to do. You did that before everything. But their attitude changed. It was like, well, I worked from home during the pandemic, so why can't I do that now? I'm
Mm-hmm.
having to spend loads
Yep.
of money driving into the office. So yeah, it's kind of difficult to deal with, and sometimes you have to be like,
Well,
well,
that was my question. And like kind of being in the business of having to maybe manage people, do you feel like, even though you were working from home kind of before times, that was my question because I took on a supervisory role for a minute after the pandemic hit and had to kind of navigate all of that along with the people that I managed, just in like, how do we do this? What's best practice and stuff? And there was no good answer. And I can understand why someone who, like, it was in person before, we had to do it remotely for a while, but now the expectation is back, and it's kind the question's kind of like, well, why? We already showed that it was effective, remotely. So why can't that continue? And me being kind of stuck in that middle management position, being like, I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I just know that I was
yeah,
told I had to
it's out of
bring
my
everyone back.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It sucked.
And the thing is, as well, is it comes down to an element of trust and productivity as well. There's
Mhm.
some people on my teams that I would trust to work from home, and there's others that I would not. And I know that they're just gonna log onto their PC and not actually do any fucking work.
Mhm.
So it's tricky. Managing people is
Yeah, I don't miss it.
hard. Mm.
But there's some good things that kind of came out of it too. I feel like just the way the world changed, including, the study that was in the UK about the 4-day work week.
Yeah.
And, I do think this is an interesting difference between the UK and the US, just generally. Excuse me. I think I caught your cough.
Oh no.
But like how the work ethic between the US and the UK and kind of expectations around work and vacation, even. You guys have like so much vacation time. And I think it's just kind of like a expectation. And here it's like some jobs don't even get that. And like
Yeah.
going on vacation almost just, it's not worth it for people considering kind of work expectations and work ethic.
Yeah. So it's not a legal requirement to have a certain amount of holiday leave for the US, right?
Depending on the job. I mean, a lot of, I'm going to say, kind of the more like the retail industry, labor industry, if you like work at a grocery store, restaurant, that sort of thing. No, it's more just
Really?
like, well, I guess I need this day off. And so then you don't have your shift scheduled that day. But like I don't know if the right term is like white collar, maybe that might
Mm.
not be the right term. But like in my role, I get a certain amount that increases the longer I work where I
Yeah.
work. But
Mm.
it starts at like 10 days.
Really? My
Hmm.
God. I find that mad. Like, absolutely mental.
Yeah, I mean, coming to visit, we try to come visit for longer than a weekend, obviously,
Yeah.
because of the distance
Mm.
and having to take unpaid time those first
Yeah,
few
that must
years just because
suck.
I never had enough vacation.
God. Yeah, it's crazy to me. So I assuming they aren't trialing the 4-day week in America, or are they?
Well, so that article came out about the study in the UK, I don't know, maybe like a couple months ago, and how successful it was. And maybe there's some like businesses that were a part of the trial that are going to continue. Just looking at this
Mm-hmm.
article, it looks like um, an overwhelming majority of 61 companies that participated from June to December will keep going with the shorter hours because most employees were stressed and had a better work-life balance. And I think productivity either stayed the same or increased.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm not sure about is how they navigated that. Was it just, oh, we're actually going to make everyone work less hours? Are you going to do, oh, yeah. So it looks like maybe it was 32 hours instead of 40. which is great because the thing
Oh,
that I don't think I would like is if they took away a day of work and I was expected to work 10 hours,
more hours.
to
Yeah.
make up for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that. But following this, I did see a couple articles where it was maybe introduced in certain states or maybe even talked about in like federally about whether this is something worth pursuing. I can't foresee it happening here. I mean, as I already said before, the kind of work ethic here is not really focused on work-life balance or like
No.
meeting the needs of workers. So,
Mm. Bastards. Well, to be fair, my company would never go for it.
yeah, I was going to ask that.
I'd love it because I've always
I mean,
thought it's not fair that we work 5 days a week and get 2 days off. It should be
mhm,
a little bit more balanced. And people would be
mhm,
so much happier just having that extra day. I mean, obviously, we get a lot of what we call UK bank holidays, where they're like
mhm.
public holidays. And it's so much nicer when you just have a 3-day weekend because you have more time to, life admin, just getting shit done.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah,
Well, and
it's
with I mean, I
just
guess we
a bit
have kind of
fun.
like bank holidays. They're not called that, but like those days where they're holidays.
Mm.
And if I wanted to do like normal administrative life stuff, go to the bank or something like that, I couldn't because they're closed.
Everything's shut. Yeah.
And so having kind of an extra day that's just like a day off, but things are still running. So you could do your shopping, you could go to the doctor, you could go to, the bank, you could have people like workers come to your house and stuff because you have to take time off for that if you need to be home and you don't work from home.
Mm.
Um, it would be a lot better.
It would. And I mean, there's a huge mental health crisis going on at the moment. So
Say more about that. I hadn't heard about
that-
that.
no, were you not aware?
Now I feel great, despite what I just said about working from home.
Never have any issues. I'm absolutely fine. Yeah. Well,
Ugh,
you never know. But it would be nice. I'd enjoy it.
I would too. Let's just go ahead and like do that for ourselves. I think we can do that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know people that work a 4-day week, but as you say, they work more hours to make up for the
Mm-hmm.
lost day.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I probably wouldn't be adverse to that because I kind of work long hours anyway. So
Yeah, me too, to be fair.
it would just be, you'd just get an extra day off, I guess.
Yeah. I suppose if
Mm.
it meant I had to do 10, I mean, I can think of a handful of times in the last month that I probably worked 12 hours, just to
Yeah,
get stuff done. So,
exactly. Oh, we can but dream.
well, on that note, something a little lighthearted.
Yeah. What do you got for me, Kathy? I mean, Kate?
You are one of the chosen few, I guess. But I have a feeling now I'm going to hear that more often.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Please do not come at Kathy.
Don't at me. So I wanted to talk to you about, I saw this article that's kind of like the most, well, it's titled Top 100 Most Beautiful British Slang Words and Phrases.
Mm,
And it was
tell me
kind of
more.
like, oh, I will. Sit tight, hold on to your pants. And I think it was like, listen, check what these mean. They're way better than what Americans say. So we should adopt these kind
Okay.
of slang words. And
Yeah.
so I guess I want to know. You can tell me what it means, whether you
Hmm.
use it. Tosser.
Yes, I use tosser. Well, not regularly, but yeah, it's a common British slang word. It just means like a wanker, a prick, an idiot. You're such a tosser, you know?
So the defined idiot is what it says, and you said wanker too, which is also on here because that's
I
not
think it
one
comes
we
from like
use.
tossing someone off, you know?
Oh, just like wanking, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So idiot. It sounds I mean, it's obviously kind of a little more crude, but it also sounds a little bit nicer than just "you're such an idiot."
Yeah, I guess it does. Yeah.
Okay, cock up.
Yep. So you cocked something up, messed something up. You made a right cock up of that,
So you made a
basically.
small, innocent mistake.
But you can also use it in the terms of you cocked that right up. So it's not a small innocent mistake.
Yeah, I know. It says "screw up" on here. Wow, you should be fired.
That was a royal cock up.
And you said you used that? When was the last time you
Yeah.
used it?
I've been quite often when I've cocked something up at work, really.
So usually when you're referring to yourself.
Yeah.
Bloody.
All the time, every day. It's like
Okay,
we use it to like accentuate things, I guess.
I feel like the way I've heard it, like you said, it's like an emphasis.
Yeah.
So like bloody good, like very good, but what it says
Yeah.
on here is damn. So I guess damn good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I guess in that context it is. But you
But
could
then
also
bloody
use it as
hell.
bloody awful. And yeah, bloody hell is like it's weird thinking about these terms that we just use every day, but seeing it from your
Mhm.
perspective is really
Mhm.
funny. Um, yeah, I guess bloody hell is probably the most famous English term, I guess, from an
Mhm.
American's perspective.
It is. And
And
pop
that'd
it.
be
Hello, pop it.
but yeah, bloody hell is, I guess, like an exclamation of, I guess, shock or like, uh, it's kind of like an, oh my God, bloody hell. Like, I don't know, it's really hard to describe.
I think it kind of is multi-purpose, and so it surprises me to see, like, on this thing, which doesn't, as far as I can tell, should not be taken as, the foremost
The
expert on
Bible.
the meanings
Mm.
of these things, but damn, I just was like, "Oh, that's not what I probably would have said if someone asked me what bloody is meant to mean." But okay.
No.
Blimey.
Oh, blimey, governor. Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't use that one that often.
Is that a little old
um,
school?
I think I would use that if, for example, I'm in a situation where, like, in a, I don't know, a client meeting or somewhere where I can't swear,
Mhm.
and someone said something, I don't know, shocking or, you know, gave us some data that was crazy. But, oh, blimey. Like, it's, it's kind of my polite way of being like, oh, shit.
So this says "my goodness," so that seems to track.
Yeah.
Would it be kind of an alternative? Like, is bloody considered a little too aggro, or would you feel comfortable using that in a client meeting?
No, I'd probably use that. It's not
Okay.
considered swearing here, really.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say bloody.
Gutted.
Gutted. That's I'm really sad or upset about that.
Devastated, maybe?
Devastated, yeah. Really, really gutted that I let my tea go cold.
Gutted for you, mate. So that is not, I don't think I really knew that until, I met Sean and met all you and
Mm. So that's
obviously get
not
to know you.
something
That,
you would use.
mm-mm, mm-mm. And it just like, it makes me think of kind of like a knife to the gut, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's just like or a punch to the gut,
Mm.
maybe. So it works. I like it. I've always liked gutted, but yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I'd use it, as if something really bad happened that, genuinely makes you feel that gut
Mm-hmm.
wrenching feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
when I think I'd use it.
Fancy.
Fancy. In what
Fancy a cuppa.
context?
Fancy
Oh,
a cuppa.
okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So is that not something you'd fancy a coffee?
No.
No. Okay.
Uh-uh. Or I
Mm.
fancy that. Yeah, that's just not, I don't think that's just, probably because I think of, on Netflix, every other show is, based in Britain. And so
Yeah.
probably hearing it maybe people, but no, it's exclusively, I think,
Oh, really?
British or England, yeah.
Did not know that. Yeah, I guess, yeah, we do that all the time. Fancy meeting up?
Sod off.
Fancy a chat? Sod off. It's like, fuck off. Go away.
For the listeners at home, SOD, sod, like
Yeah.
the grass.
I think that's kind
Seriously.
of, it's more of like a mum thing to say,
Mm.
in my opinion. I don't think sort of our generation would say it that much, but yeah, I can imagine a mum going, sod off.
So I just, one time Sean's mom called me a daft bint, a dozy bint. Is that a mum thing,
lovely of
or
her.
was she being super aggro at me?
Yeah, I think that's like a northern thing. Yeah, daft
Oh,
bint.
and yeah. So what does it mean? Do you know?
I don't really know what bint means. Daft is obviously silly.
Fucking stupid.
But I think it's like, it's a kind, like, insult, if that makes sense.
Mm. Endearing, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like she's also
endearing.
called me like a dozy cow or something like that. And I'm like, you think I'm fat? Okay. Let me just look through these. I know there's some good ones on here. Okay. Zed. The fact that you guys say Zed and we say Z has always just been something that I thought was so weird and interesting, and why.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I don't know why.
Like you have a full word for a letter.
Yeah, I don't know. Who came up with that? Why is it a thing?
Margaret Thatcher, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day actually about how like every word for the alphabet starts with the letter. So like A, B, C, D, But then you get to W, that starts with a D. It should be Wubble you.
Oh my God, you're right. Never, ever once have I thought of that. That is...
No, I haven't either.
Today
Blew my
I
mind.
learned. I'm today years old when I learned that.
From now on, I will be using Wubble you.
Wubble you. I'll just do a few more. Dodgy?
Dodgy, yep. Definitely would use that. It's like something's a bit wrong with it. God, it's so hard to explain what these mean because I just use them as everyday language. What does it say there?
Suspicious.
Yep, suspicious. Yeah, he looks like a dodgy bloke.
Dodgy
Wouldn't go on that.
curry.
Wouldn't go on that bridge. It looks a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pants.
What, as in like our... Okay, so pants for us is our underwear.
Yep.
Pants for you is your outerwear.
Yep. But pants also could, like, that's quite pants. I feel like I've heard.
Oh yeah.
Like that's quite,
Yeah.
that's bad lame.
That's pants. Yeah.
But yeah,
Rubbish.
panties is what this is referring to, and it wasn't my story, but it was a story from the person whose wedding I went to, where I met Sean, where it's like, oh, going to put on my pants, and it's like, you're not wearing any right now. No, I'm gonna go put on pants. I'm wearing, whatever. It's like, thanks for sharing, I guess.
Yeah. What? You're wearing any
And
pants, Kate?
I
Fucking
use
hell.
pants all the time, and I know you guys, when you hear me say it, you know what I'm talking to, but
Yeah.
part of me always wonders if you guys think you just immediately think my underwear.
I mean, I've learnt to now know that you're talking about your trousers. But yeah, we say trousers.
Last one, and I'm only asking this because I've never once heard this, and I'm just curious if you have. Strawberry creams.
Strawberry creams. What, the chocolate?
No, not the
Oh,
chocolate, actually.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Breasts.
No, I've never heard that.
Okay, so maybe this
Strawberry
is a little
creams.
outdated.
I'm going to use that from now on.
Yeah, I saw that and was like, that seems like maybe it's perhaps a little old. I actually do
Yeah,
have one
maybe.
more, and I promise this is the last one because I like it. Chav.
Oh, yeah. Chav's a good one. We also have pikey. Do you know what a pikey is?
I do, but pretend I don't.
Okay, so a chav is like, it probably varies actually as to where you're from as to what it means, but it's like, I guess it could be someone who is, I don't want to offend anyone, but I guess if you're offended, then you know you're a chav. So,
I think
but it's,
some
I
people
guess,
wear that term proudly.
yeah, maybe. I mean, for us or for me, it was like people that wear like tracksuit bottoms and caps and but like come from like, I guess, like lower income families. But it was like, it's
So white
almost like a,
trash.
yeah.
White trash is the definition, and I that's how I've always kind of considered chav to be just the equivalent of what we would say in America as white trash.
Yeah, I think that's a good description. But yeah, we also use pikeys, which is kind of like the same thing.
Or that's a bit
Yeah,
pikey. That's a bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Troy's a pikey, isn't he? Right.
Can you do some accents, like chav accent, pikey accent, please?
I can try, yeah. So like, it's funny actually because they had like a lot of when I was younger. Considering this is quite a kind of well-off area, southeast of England, it's quite well-to-do. People usually talk quite posh, and I knew a couple of people when we were sort of in school and growing up that would talk as if they were from like the ends of London and use what we say a rude boy accent. So it'd be like. Oh, I'm really nervous. I can't do it.
Yes, you can.
I can't. Used to go like, "All right, fam, how you doing, man? Like, where you going tonight? You're gonna come round my house and like chill." So, that's that accent.
I love it. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking of. Did you ever watch the show Misfits?
Yes, I love Misfits.
The character Kelly, I
Yeah,
think, was kind of the chav character, wasn't she?
yeah. So like big earrings, trackies.
Hair really slicked back, like almost
Yeah,
painfully so.
that was nicknamed a Chelsea facelift.
Oh, okay.
Because you
Because
pull your
it
hair
pulls
back
your
so
yeah.
tight.
Yep. Yep. And I think they referred to her as Chav a lot, and at one
Yeah.
point they were eating, bacon sandwich, which is like a thing,
Mhm.
and they're saying she's like, "Is this brunch or like what the fuck is brunch?"
That was a bit
And it's like,
northern
"Oh yeah,
kick.
you're Chav." Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and she might have been. I don't know. Like her character might have been, but it's obviously I suck at accents too.
That's also a weird thing, isn't it? That there's so many different accents in England,
hmm
but we're like, I don't know, something like half the size of Texas. But we have
Yeah.
like so many different accents in such a small area.
Well, and where you're from is kind of, I think, what you will often hear on like BBC, and I think that's what a lot of
Yeah.
people think is like how British people sound,
Mm.
and it's kind of like the non-dialect dialect. I like to compare it to kind of my accent. Like mine is almost like the lack of accent. I know this isn't right, and so don't at
Yeah.
me, but like I don't have the lilt, I don't have the southern drawl. I
Mm.
might sound a little bit more northern in some things I say, but generally speaking, if you watch the news, you might hear people who sound or have an accent more like mine too,
Yeah.
especially like national news, rather than someone who's super southern or like, oh
Yeah.
my god,
Ew. So gross.
oh, ew, David.
Ew, David. Ew. Where does Moira's voice come from?
So I actually know this. It's not one actually. From what I remember,
Oh.
just reading about that character, she, God, what is her name? Catherine something.
Mm.
She blended a couple accents to make it
Okay.
kind of. I think her goal was kind of like this transatlantic accent, which was very kind of like the posh accent of I don't know, like the 50s. I think Katharine Hepburn when I
Yeah.
think about her. And so, David.
Baby.
That's kind of how that's how she sounds. So it's not really any one accent. I think just wanted to make her sound really unique and kind of crazy.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It makes me laugh so
I love
much.
that show. Yeah.
So great. They might be bringing it back.
I think I'll save more of those lists for other shows because there's a lot of them. There's just a lot, and there's so many times when I would hear you say something or Sean say something, and I would just say, "Yeah, I don't know what that is. You're gonna have to go ahead and explain that one to me, please.
Yeah.
Thank you."
What I found really interesting as well is, as Sean's lived in obviously America for quite some time now, how his like words change for things.
Mhm.
Like when he started saying trash instead of rubbish,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
what was the other one?
Gas.
Gas. Yeah. So I'm going to the gas station. I was like, sorry, what? You're going to the petrol station, actually. When did you become
Or
American?
bathroom, right?
Yeah.
That's a big one. I'm sorry. Toilet sounds like you need to like why do I need to tell you exactly what I'm doing in there? I'm just going to go to the bathroom and we can leave it at that.
Or loo. I remember when we
Lou
came
is
over
cute.
and I was in a restaurant. I was like, "Where's the loo?" And they looked at me like I was fucking crazy. Sorry, what's
Was
a
that
loo?
in like Sioux City, Iowa?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
Yeah.
me then. I feel like depending on where you go, it might be a little bit people might be more familiar with it, but
Yeah, so you just assume it's a term everyone knows, but clearly not.
mm-mm.
I don't know what you're talking
Nope.
about.
Nope.
Sorry.
Tap and faucet was another fun experience for us in our household where
Oh
I was
yeah.
cooking and I asked Sean to turn on the faucet because I was going to carry something over to it and my hands were full.
Yeah.
And he kind of just looks at me, looks around, reaches up and turns on the oven or the stove hood vent fan. And I'm like, okay, now turn on the faucet. And he's like, that's not the faucet, the sink. And he's like, oh, the tap.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Good
Wow.
times, good times.
Good times. We live and we learn.
Mm-hmm. And, we get through those awkward moments together.
Exactly.
Well, you wanna do one more? Or should we wrap up for the day?
Yeah, I think we've talked about some shit, haven't we?
We did talk some shit today. Some major
Mm.
shit, some minor shit. Don't add us. Send
All the
in
shit.
your shit talking requests if you want to all of our 5 listeners.
Boop, boop.
Oh, I do have a question for you.
Okay. Hit me.
There's been a request for you
Mhm.
to tell us what the equivalent to camel toe is from listeners at home, Levi and Cassie.
So we call camel toe a wild boar toe. No, we don't. It's just camel toe.
It's the same. I think if people can create words like breadcrumbing, cuffing, whatever, we can change camel toe. So wild boar toe.
Wild boar toe.
That's it. Get it going. Let's get it on Urban Dictionary.
We're making a trend. This is a new thing.
The reality is some things are the same. Anyway.
We're all the same inside, guys.
We are.
We all bleed the same blood.
And with that, thank you for listening to episode 3.
Thank you for coming back. Oh, we're loving people actually listening to us. See you next time, motherfuckers.
Talking shit with a yank and a Brit out.
Mic drop.